Welcome to the sixth one-on-one session with Marek. I'm going to have Boris go ahead and introduce himself, Marek as a character, and give us a little insight as to what Marek is thinking right now. Timeline-wise, we have just finished our fifth session in-game campaign where Rikki and Ila have told Marek and Clud a bit about their recent history, not necessarily explaining everything, but giving some kind of like main bullet point summaries of what has happened to them. Take it away.
Well, hi gang, I'm Boris, and I play Marek, the he/him elven sorcerer extraordinaire. Um, so how does Marek feel now that Rikki and Ila especially spilled the beans? Um, well, after hearing that earful of information from Ila and Rikki, Mark's brain totally went into high gear. Like, a lot of stuff, was confirmed with what he's learned with Section. But he was definitely also surprised by stuff like Isla's past and how Rikki came back from the dead. What? Um, don't even get me or Marek started on how Isla confronted Marek about like trust. Uh, it definitely threw him and me for a loop. Um, I would say that Marek feels really conflicted between his duty to Section and putting his friends in potential danger with what he's just been told.
Definitely, I know what you mean. A lot of things have been coming to light for Marek recently, but that doesn't necessarily mean the party knows what's going on with Mark yet. So that's also very, very exciting to watch unfold. Um, and so I'm going to give a quick summary about where we're at the moment. So, Sunday, the 26th of Elent, Marek went with the party to go check out the Enchanted Botanical Gardens, as they were having a university day where students and staff received 50% off entry. They walked around, hearing some odd comments from someone named Evan, who snuck into the botanical gardens and was escorted out, as apparently he's being banned there. He was talking about screaming plants, odd things going on, and fast forwarding later on in the day, the group runs into Luna. Looking at this figure, they had the right height and build and basic features for the person that you saw in the Night Forest a while ago. This was like 2 weeks ago now. And you're a bit stunned when you first see her. And later, as the party explains, mostly Rikki and Ila explaining Luna and how she's a horrible, mean person and everything that's going on, you are clued in on the inner workings of their group mentality, on shadow creatures, on life rot, Blaze, who they kidnapped / rescued, and their thoughts on the government at the moment. They're very much sworn to secrecy, but as you leave Rikki's mom's apartment, you sent a text over to Eleanor.
Mark sent a message out to Eleanor saying, "We need to meet tonight."
All right, you receive a text message back rather quickly. I'll meet you in the Delta Dominique High lounge at 10 p.m. Eleanor.
Marek, revealing his how adept he is with using phones. Puts up a thumbs up emoji.
All right. Some time passes. And since you left Rikki's apartment, you head back to school sooner than everyone else. You have plenty of time to think over all sorts of scenarios, just processing all of the information that they shared with you. 10 o'clock quickly approaches. And you manage to go to the dining hall and get some food. Depending on how you're feeling, it may not be a lot. And as you descend the elevator to the Delta Dominici headquarters, you find Eleanor sitting in one of the kind of like armchairs at the entrance, eagerly waiting.
Mark, just after just kind of sitting in his own brain, thinking about all the things that happened and all of the conflict that's recently been kind of thrust upon him, kind of just like breathes out and steps out of the elevator. Eleanor.
Marek, is everything all right?
Well, I just received some information, and I felt like the sooner that it be known, the better.
All right. Please have a seat.
She motions for the other chair sitting next to her.
Mark strolls over and sits in the chair.
Do you mind if I take notes?
Not at all.
She pulls out like a little spiral notebook and pen, and she begins to kind of like scribble some information down.
If it is something for section, then I'm going to need to write a report on this. You do know that.
Of course.
All right, go ahead. I'll try not to interrupt.
Mark stays silent for a moment, just kind of thinking how he has to be really discreet, because he doesn't want to say everything, in order to protect his friends. So, he finally starts talking. Well, after going to the botanical gardens today, we saw a person of interest, someone that this group that I'm with, Rikki, Ila, and Clud was there too. They pointed out this Luna character. They looked very familiar to the one back when, well, those corpses. Mark trails off. Well, Luna was there. Ila and Rikki, they say that Luna was with them and then betrayed them. But I remember trying to read Luna's mind, and I mean, it's kind of a far shot, but I tried reading and there was nothing. I don't know. However, they also mentioned the name of what I assume is the sorceress that was with this Luna, Night Mother. They also mentioned the Shadowfell several times. I don't know how, but they do know that they know something about the Shadowfell. They have some source of information, but they didn't say what. Mark kind of glances a
You
little to
just
the
see
right.
her furiously scribbling down all of this information.
They also mentioned Shavaris and that he was affiliated with the EPA, so they don't have the full picture. Uh, However, they did seem to hold some resentment or possibly even suspicion towards him and, well, the EPA. Um, Ila said that she got involved when she met the party members. Um, Rikki, Gale, and Elzina after going to the University of Andorra here. So I think that's where she started to get involved in this Shadowfell activity. Um, the party knows that there are shadow creatures slipping into the material plane and are wreaking havoc, according to Ila. Um, Ila and Rikki discuss this in such a manner that it wouldn't seem they have told other people. There could be a chance that word slips out, but so far I haven't heard anything about this amongst other students. Um, one more thing. Rikki said that on the night of Blaze's disappearance, their entourage went to a party and later on to the Night Forest where they had a fight. Um, and just to make it clear in the report, we are discussing subject like 3785. They didn't see him after the fight. Mark kind of falls silent, racking his brain to see if there's anything he could say. He thinks of mentioning Kane Foxglove, and then pushes it to the back of his mind. The
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
the I think that's it.
You see her kind of like finishing up writing down these notes.
Did they say anything about taking Blaze from the tower?
Oh, right. They did mention that he had some sort of disease, um, and it seemed to be spreading, but other than that, nothing that we don't know.
Interesting. So they knew about the disease, too.
They said
Very
they studied
curious.
it, but they weren't sure what was going on.
They've figured out a lot of information. Now, the curious thing is, their minds, their memories were modified so they wouldn't remember anything about the Shadowfell, or section, or anything, or Blaze. Nothing. They somehow remembered again, and they're seen in the forest.
What?
Mr. Shavaris is extremely upset about this, especially since the memory modification was not permanent. And typically, we do not have them be permanent. We do not like to remove memories completely. It's a bit unethical. For their own safety, modifying these memories is best. Someone had to make them remember, but who?
What
Brain wouldn't
could
do such a thing.
what could undo that level of magic?
Several different spells, although you do have to be a little bit higher in power energy-wise, you know. A Great Restoration spell is one.
Mark kind of makes understanding gestures, kind of
So,
half understanding.
if this is the case, they must be a little bit more advanced knowledge-wise, combat-wise, than we thought. Mr.
Or
Chavard would like to know all about this.
Or maybe there's someone that we don't know about.
Perhaps. How is your relationship with them? If they did finally confide in you about this whole situation, which was the goal, what do they think? That you're just a very close friend, but why would they want to tell you? This sort of information would be helpful.
Mark kind of sits quietly, really thinking about looking into Isla's eyes as Isla was saying, "Can I trust you?" Mark just kind of looks at the wall, at the books on the shelves, around the lounge. Well, I think it was Luna that sparked it off. Because I kept asking why they were so on edge around this Luna, and they started being really quiet about it until we went somewhere private.
Alright.
It looked like Luna was just going about some daily activities. I mean, Luna was just volunteering at the gardens. But I don't know how they can seem so normal after being involved in such a thing.
It is rather odd. I have been doing some digging into Luna. Full name, Luna Williams.
Mark kind of repeats the words quietly.
She is a freshman at the University of Andorra. Has been continuing to attend classes as if nothing has changed, which is very odd, considering all of this is happening. I have been trying to keep a closer eye on her, and have actually had somebody else try and get close to her. Perhaps we can get some more information.
Well, what I definitely know is uh these people, these Isla and Rikki, they seem to be at odds. But we have established some sort of communication, though it was minimal.
Interesting.
It looks like there's maybe some unfinished business between them.
I do want to let you know we are looking into this. There is some other plans I cannot share exactly with you at the moment. We do, however, have someone undercover in section. From section with some sort of organization that perhaps may be connected with Luna and this Night Mother you're talking about.
Oh,
I can't speak more on that matter, but I can share that we do have a Delta Dominici member trying to get close to Luna at the moment.
okay. If
Ian
you need
has
me...
been tasked with this.
Oh, well, if
It's
you
not
say...
something he really enjoys, all things considered.
Mark kind of gives a short chortle. Yeah, I can't imagine Ian has too much fun socializing like that.
Especially after he knows everything. He's rather careful. And what you speak of in the trying to understand Luna's thoughts, this is something you perhaps might actually understand a bit about. For example, if you tried to read my thoughts right now, it would not work because of my amulet. It has a specific enchantment, making sure that no one can really understand my thoughts unless I allow them to. Which adds that layer of section. Something like this could be occurring with Luna, either on her own willpower, or magical enchantment, or magical object, or even a figure. Powerful figure.
Well, if anything, that makes me more suspicious that Luna could be still involved in this.
Perhaps, or mind controlled, like you say. We do not know anything. Ian has shared that she does appear normal. He's trying to gain her trust now. It won't be easy.
Understood. I'll make sure to let Ian know if I've made any contact with Luna.
And another thing, I can speak on my own accord about. I do have a boyfriend.
Oh,
His name
Mark
is
stammers.
Draymore. No, not like that. Settle down. He is not in section. He did not pass the test.
So,
Dealing with this sort of situation is not easy, but it is possible. However, sometimes section must come first. In Ian's case, he did have someone he was interested in pursuing. However, the priority at the moment is Luna. In order to get close to her, he might have to pursue her, even if it is not something that he wants to do. This is also a life lesson that if something needs to be done for the good of section must come first. And if you do want to pursue a relationship, as long as it does not interrupt with section's requests, demands, and things, it's possible. I'm just letting everyone know because the situation is so specific. We are all on high alert, the highest that section has ever been at in our history. Well, for some time at least.
Mark,
So that
just
the demands of this organization, your role in it, must be a priority.
Mark was kind of hunched over, just kind of thinking about how he's just told so much sensitive information after hearing, so much personal stuff from the party members. But as Eleanor, starts discussing how, section comes first, he kind of solemnly squares his shoulders and sits back up. I understand what needs to be done. Section comes first.
And if you do need to gain their trust and are unable to reveal certain information at the time, there is a gray area. If keeping information from section overall will benefit section, it is possible. I sense that you are not telling me everything. But I know if it were absolutely dire, you would share it.
Thank you for understanding.
That is from your Nat 1, by the way.
Alright, is there anything else, or do you have any questions for me?
Um, uh, yeah. So, I grabbed some gummy worms, and we're kind of all out now. Every time I've come in here to clean, I've grabbed a bag. Uh, where do you guys get them?
A
Because I
whole
don't.
bag?
Well, Rain had some too.
Next to the Nest Cafe, there's a school bookstore. That is one location that you can purchase candy to replace. Another is going into town if you would like to do a large restock. Just remember that if you do go purchase anything, you put it in a bag of holding, as to not come into any suspicion of carrying large amounts of bags. Most of us do have a bag of holding that we use for schools and things, but I would encourage you to take it shopping as well. It'd be rather handy.
Right. And I wouldn't want to get caught on campus with food outside of the disco.
Oh, as long as you take it out, as long as you don't get it from the dining hall, it's fine.
Oh, yeah, they've always been quite, well, strict about that.
Oh, alright. When I was a freshman, there was a. Oh, goodness. There was a party. It was rather large. I did not go, this is something I heard about. There is another residential social organization. You may have heard about it. Lupin Phi, the werewolf fraternity. They had an initiation night where they snuck, I kid you not, 20 large pizzas from the dining hall. Never again. They have been on lockdown for the past 3 years.
Well, with how sloppy I see some people eat, perhaps it's for the best.
The biggest issue was not that they were eating it in places they weren't supposed to, which that was one. They decided to fling the pizzas across campus, like frisbees. Hit various different statues and things defacing windows. It was a mess. So now we have more strict consequences. But if you would like to get food or something from the Nest Cafe or the bookstore, totally fine. Just not the dining hall.
Mark's just kind of stunned, just staring at Eleanor and the story. Well, I would have expected that from the barbarians, but the werewolves?
Some of them are barbarians.
She kind of like closes her notebook up. And then she puts her things away and kind of looks to you curiously.
Now that you've given me some information, I have a request, if you don't mind.
Oh?
You have to promise not to repeat this to anyone, or else I will hunt you down and strangle you. Promise?
Mark shoots his hand up, mum's the word.
I'm not kidding.
She like stares very intensely into your eyes.
Mark kind of puts the hand down and says, oh, okay.
Bear in mind, I'm a very powerful wizard, and my boyfriend is the captain of the siege ball team.
All right, you've convinced me.
Now,
Please.
have you heard any rumors lately?
Well, nothing other than gossip, Goblin.
Anything else?
Well, I don't like to partake in gossip. That's how you know you can trust me.
The word request was merely a nice way of saying, please give me information.
Oh.
rumors don't necessarily have to be true, but I need you to come up with something for me, please.
Wait. Are you?
She
Mark
gives you a
looks-
coy smile.
You know, there is this one tiefling I know that's really terrified of frogs.
Good information. I'll keep that in mind. And if you receive any odd text, it definitely wasn't for me. Actually, it's not. There's a string of us.
A string?
If you play your cards right, you can be a part of it. It is a side piece of section. We use it to distract students, faculty, and staff to different directions in order to get what we need. Sometimes it can help students keep out of the night forest, for example.
How clever.
Or I've said too much. Anyways, if you're chosen, you'll know. But for now, I did not say anything. I definitely did not say anything about frogs. Or texting. Thank you. I'll see you later. And Mr. Chavaris may follow up with additional questions. Just giving you a heads up, he likes to show up unannounced for these types of situations.
Oh, well, that's good to know. He usually lets me know about stuff beforehand.
For your sake and mine, I hope that it is an announced visit. His unannounced visits are rather scary.
Oh, good thing I come back regularly to keep the place clean.
Alright. And with that, I'm going to head off and write my report. Don't worry about the gummy worms too much. If you're the only one eating them, should be no problem.
Ah, okay.
Most of us
And
juniors and seniors just survive on the energy drinks for now.
yeah, I noticed that there's another fridge right next to the other one full of them.
Dragon's blood's the best flavor, I'm just saying. Alright, I'm heading out. Have a good night.
Well,
And she kind of grabs her bag and slings it over her shoulder.
Mark, who already dropped his bag off in his room, just kind of gets up and puts his hands in his pockets and starts heading over to the elevator. Thank you, Eleanor. And Mark nods.
And you both leave together. And that is where we're going to end today's mini session.
Tori.
Spoilers. Boris, thoughts on Marek sharing information with Section, as well as thoughts on what Eleanor has shared with Marek?
It seems like Mark isn't the only one that's had to tackle his real life with Section. Kind of like overlapping with each other. I think Marek would feel a lot better, more calm after that. You know, kind of be able to formulate what he'd say to Ila's, saying, "Can you trust me?" I think that it's a lot less scary now that we've jumped this hurdle, because I'm just like thinking, how is Mark gonna do this? Oh my god, the Section and the secrets, and I mean this Dr. Morpheus thing that's gonna be coming up. Like I'm just glad that this kind of opened my eyes, made me feel more comfortable.
And I love that we could make the frog test a text canon as well.
I love that. I didn't even come up with it, and I just kind of like used it to full circle. Oh, that was great.
Yeah. So I'm glad we were able to incorporate a little bit of this. So I appreciate your help with that. And I'm excited since now no one else knows unless they're watching this video. I guess they
Hi
will.
guys.
But yeah, thanks so much for exploring this side of section with me. Mark's first official report on information that he has discovered through his mission on getting close to the party. So I'm excited to see how everything folds out.
Oh, you're not alone there. Trust me. Hi, people from future.
An apology. Please don't hit us. All right. And with that, until next time.